Putin's friends concoct a new plan to defeat Biden. State television in Moscow, which is controlled by the Kremlin, has long speculated that former President Donald Trump could end up in prison or even seek asylum in Russia. Trump faces 37 felony counts, according to an unsealed federal indictment released on Friday, all of which stem from his retention of a trove of classified documents, including America's military plans and nuclear secrets. The Kremlin's mouthpieces on state media's airwaves are openly plotting ways to help Trump by undermining President Joe Biden, reflecting the efforts that are probably taking place behind the scenes, as they are clearly worried about the seriousness of the criminal danger their favored candidate is facing. After all, in Trump, Moscow sees its best chance yet that the United States will stop backing Ukraine, opening the door for Russia to absorb the country whole. Russian state TV host Yevgeny Popov made the sarcastic remark, "Turns out that the investigation against Trump has to do with the disappearance of secret documents from the White House, related to the development of new nuclear weapons by the United States," after it was reported that the FBI had searched Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate and found hundreds of classified documents. It's clear that if there were any crucial records, they've been poring over them in Moscow for some time. What's the use in looking? Popov and his fellow propagandists are not nearly as giddy now that the search has resulted in a multitude of charges, but they still hold out hope that the Republicans and their mouthpieces, like Russia's beloved Tucker Carlson, will manage to hurt Biden and undermine U.S. aid to Ukraine. With the major candidates all facing criminal charges, Americanologist Dmitry Drobnitsky joked on Vladimir Solovyov's morning show Full Contact that the race for president could come down to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Nikki Haley. He noted that RFK Jr.'s popularity ratings were higher than expected, but he still didn't think he'd win. Kennedy's involvement in the elections, Drobnitsky argued, will allow him to inject his pro-Russian talking points about Ukraine into the mainstream, which is good news for Moscow. On Thursday's episode of The Evening with Vladimir Solovyov, guests discussed ways to proactively support their preferred candidate and undermine their opponent. According to Dmitry Evstafiev, a professor at the University of Southern California's School of Integrated Communications, in the West, we should be supporting crooks, scumbags, and idiots. Then we will succeed. We need to back them up and help them see how brilliant they really are. Drobnitsky speculated, it's possible that none of the leading presidential candidates will make it to the 2024 elections as free men. All of them have numerous criminal cases pending or in the works. He advised, it's time for us to take advantage of this, in addition to demonstrating our successes, both in the economic field and on the front lines of the special military operation. The Pax Americana that once suited everyone must give way to a new foundation of our foreign policy, relentlessly demonstrating the toxicity of the American world. Let all the flowers bloom as long as our enemies are sensitive to them, he continued. We need to do everything in our power to force them out of our part of Eurasia. The plan to isolate the United States economically and diplomatically is in line with Trump's campaign promise to drastically reduce U.S. involvement in the world. Former Russian spy and self-proclaimed Trump supporter Drobnitsky suggested, let's release a story where we'll write that Biden was personally getting $10 million for every day of the war in Ukraine. Who is it that can disprove this? So many criminal cases are pending.